Hey there, you looking kinda cute. Please consider subscribing and check out our Patreon for more. Enjoy the video. Sunday night has come. I can't go to bed. The night before, I not only went out in public for the first time as a girl, but I also met a wonderful person. I'm really happy because of this. I won't sleep. I'm Peter. I live in London and work for an IT company. I'm 25 years old, and I've been cross-dressing for as long as I can remember. When I was 18, I graduated from college and moved out. I found my own place in North London. It was amazing. I could dress whenever I wanted, and I dressed too much. I got catalogs and ordered a lot of clothes from them. Tried something, made progress, broke the bank. Then I got my current job. The money is good, so I could buy better hair and other things. I'm single, and that's fine. I have enough space for Kelly. I let her off the hook once a week at most. As you get more clothes, you feel less of a need to dress up. I've gone out a few times as Kelly. We all know what's going on. Dash to the mailbox at midnight. As cars go by, my heart pounds, afraid of being seen. We're trying to be seen. I was no different. Overall, I do a pretty good job, but I'm 5'10", and I honestly don't think I could pass close up. Back in 3 weeks, our company won a deal that will pay a very big amount over the next 5 years and guarantee all of our jobs for that time. We were all ecstatic. As a reward, the CEO asked me to plan a party. Big, he said that. Most of the rooms at a country hotel near the M25 were rented by me for last night and set up a dance party and lunch. One of the girls at work thought it would be fun to have a party with a theme. Pop Idols was the winner, everyone agreed. There were a few unhappy people. They said they didn't have any ideas and couldn't come up with personalities. I suggested that we put the names of the company's 30 stars in a hat. I would pick them, and then we would go. There are 18 guys who work here and 12 women. I basically wrote down all the guy stars on blue paper, all the female celebrities on pink. Then she put them all in a hat and drew one for each person. I was doing it while I had a crazy idea and chose to go with it on a whim. I said the names because until I only had 2 more papers. I, along with a secretary named Dawn, were left to make up our own characters. A little bit shaking, I said, "I'm coming as," with a lot of authority, hoping that someone would take me up on it. I went through the trash and pulled out the pink paper, making it look like I hadn't been paying attention. "Britney Spears, oh my," big chuckle. Then, as expected, my so-called friend Jack called out, "Yeah, do it!" I smiled and said, "Come on." You wouldn't make me do that because of a small mistake, would you? Now everyone said, "Yes." Dawn took the last blue paper out of her purse and said, "I'll be there as Michael Jackson." A lot more giggling. Having a sad face, I said, "Yes, okay, anything to make you laugh." Down inside, I was on the verge of passing out. It had been done. I couldn't have asked for more. I could mess with the paper, sure. I didn't know who I'd get, though. I'd gotten Britney. I was very happy. The rest of the day went by quickly. People were telling me how sporty I was, etc., if they only knew. The next few days went by quickly. I spent a lot of time making my outfit, too. I really wanted to look like Britney in her red PVC catsuit, but I knew it would be hard to find one. It would also be very cute. So I went with the schoolgirl hit-me-baby look. It wasn't a problem. I had a brown blonde wig that was about knee length. I went to the local drugstore and found some pink fuzzy hairbands. I had a white shirt that had shrunk a little bit in the wash and tied under my bust would work just fine. The skirt wasn't too hard to make. I ordered from the catalog a short black kilt. For my sister, I went to a school supply store and bought a gray sweater that was 2 sizes too small. It worked just right. I made do without nylons. I got a pair of black hold-ups that were pretty thick, cut them down, and re-sewed the tops. So, they didn't fall off, and they reached about an inch below the level of my kilt. There was a black lace push-up bra and black pants that went with it. Shoes. I had to go to a London store that specializes in TVs and buy a pair of black Mary Janes. I wasn't sure if I should show my stomach. I usually wear a corset, which helps me get a good 27-inch waist. I would have been just under 30 without it. I had to go with it, though. One night, I put it all together. Taking in the view, okay, I had nothing in common with Britney, but it was clear who I was meant to be. And most importantly, I looked like a girl dressed up for a party. I was very happy. I was so excited about the party. Each day went by slowly. Everyone at work was talking about how they were getting ready. Jack, one of my friends, was doing Bowie and couldn't decide what to wear. He chose the thin white Duke look in the end and started putting it together. Yesterday came at last. I left for the hotel around 1 p.m., and I was scared to death. I got cold feet all of a sudden, and when I checked in, I thought I might leave. I brought my bag up to my room, I took a bath, and then went downstairs to see how everything was going. The room for the party looked great. Very happy. There are food tables set up. The DJ already had his sound system set up. We talked, and he asked me what I was going to be that night because he knew it was a costume party. I sighed. Britney Spears, he was funny. He probably thought I was kidding. I went upstairs again, greeting people as they came in. I took a shower and used the chance to shave again. I like taking those slow baths and running a razor along my legs, making sure they're smooth. Lucky me, I don't have much hair. I keep my hair trimmed too. I looked at the time. 6 p. We had to go down at 7. I just couldn't wait any longer. I put my clothes on the bed and started putting on my makeup. Start with the base, a little darker than usual to give the look of a California tan. Then I put on more eye makeup than I usually do. Hazy grays, put in place and filled in with a pencil. Coated with makeup, someone tapped on the door. I replied to it. It was Jack. When he saw my makeup, he laughed. We had a short talk, and he said he might have to leave quickly because his wife was sick and he might have to go back to London. Did it bother me if he didn't wear his outfit? I thought that was a good idea, and I was glad he asked. I went back to putting on my makeup. Eyes were all set, a blusher and ruby-colored makeup. Then I carefully put my wig in place and put the pink fur scrunchies in my pigtails. It took a while because my hands were shaking. I sat back to look at myself. Good. If I saw myself in a bar, I wouldn't think man right away. I was thankful for that. I went to bed and started putting on the clothes. I put on my black lace pants, which I liked because they had a flat front. I put my bra on by putting the strap around my waist and fastening it. I pulled the strap up and put my arms through it, then put it on my chest and felt the underwires. I slowly put my foot into one of the socks and pulled it up my legs. The second one came after the first. I was beginning to calm down. Shirt next. On top of that, a gray sweater, sleeves pushed up to the middle of my wrists. Then I put on the skirt and fixed it. I put on my shoes and looked at myself in the mirror. It would be a lie to say I wasn't happy. I had the look of a girl putting on a Britney Spears act. Okay. I looked at the time. Time to head down. I went toward the door, then got scared. I took a Coke out of the fridge. I started to think all of a sudden that I was making a big mistake and should change again. I sat down on my bed, drank my Coke. I could hear people going down the hall. People are laughing. I looked in the door hole. Cher came first, Karen going pretty well. As a not very slim Kylie, Jackie went with her. Hugo, who works in the office next to mine, was behind them. Robbie Williams. He tried to look like Let Me Entertain You, makeup and a black catsuit. I felt a little bit better. After all, it was just a party. I looked in my mirror once more, cried a little. I suddenly realized I had to leave. I was getting a little sweaty. Most cross-dressers will remember that cold trickle. I took a deep breath, got my key card, and put it and some cash in a small handbag. Then I opened the door. You can't go back. I shut the door and made their way to the lift. There was no one there. As I walked, know that the carpet makes it hard to hear and a small chill on my legs. I hit the button to call the elevator and saw it come down from the floor above. When they were opened, oh no, people within. 2 guys in their 20s and in the back, Phil, our bookkeeper. Most of us are younger, in the late 30s. Supposedly, he was Mick Jagger, but he was wearing a gray suit with 2 buttons and a trilby. I got on the elevator. I was worried about what the 2 guys I didn't know would say. Phil waved and they moved away. Well, okay, I didn't really think the 2 guys would be fooled, but I'm allowed to dream. They didn't say a word the whole way down. Still, my heart was beating. I remember saying something stupid about how it was the last time I did something wrong and had to pay for it. The elevator stopped in the hallway, and we walked across to where the function room was. I could feel the girls at reception staring at me, but I was starting to feel better a tiny bit. I asked Phil about his outfit, and he said he felt too old to be Jagger, so he came dressed as Sinatra. I believed what he said. He at least tried. The party room was packed. Most people were there together with other people, 60 or 70 people most likely. Most people who didn't work in an office had also tried dressing up. I saw another Britney, too. She tried to look the same, but if I risk being arrogant, I was better looking. "Pete, is that you?" I took a look at. It was Jack. "Hey, look at you." He slowed down. He stopped talking and just gave me a puzzled look and asked me what I wanted to drink. When I said vodka and tonic, he got up and left. It hit me all at once, the way a hammer. I was dressed as a girl in a room full of people. I was so happy. I crossed the room to find a stool, sharing hellos with different friends and getting mostly positive responses, including from my favorite, from Hells, our front desk clerk. I sat down on a stool. Jack got my drink for me and we talked for a while, though it was really hard to hear. In the next 2 or 3 hours, I drank a bit more than I usually do and got into the swing of things. I remember dancing a lot more with the girls and that I had a very different way of dancing. I used both my arms and my hips a lot more. I was really having fun. I didn't notice that many people had left until it was too late. I didn't want it to end at all. I stopped my head from spinning and sat down. The DJ said that the night was over and Hells and I were talking. When Careless Whisper began, the final slow dance. The man Hells liked stumbled over to her and pulled her to the floor. I looked at it. Then she heard someone say, "Come on, Britney." I went on the floor. Rob was the guy's name. Earlier in the evening, we'd talked. I could not forget him because he was big, without much trouble. I knew he wanted me to dance when I cracked up and said something, "I don't know if I can do this." He was laughing and pulling on my arm, though. I finally gave up and got on the floor. Everyone there was moving to the song, so I let him put his arms around my waist and joined in. I'm laughing. Everything was a joke, right? He pulled me a little closer, and because he was so tall, it was hard not to put my head on his shoulder. As the DJ was saying goodnight and the lights were starting to come back on, I went back to my stool. I realized it was morning. I had to go back to my room and change clothes. I felt terrible. I wanted it to go on and on. I stayed as long as possible, having a talk with the DJ, making sure he knew where to go to get paid, etc. As I walked across the floor, I saw Robert sitting there. He gestured. We talked for a while, and he told me he wasn't looking forward to the drive back to London and really needed to clean up a bit. I asked him to come to my room so we could have coffee together, and I swear that was all I meant. I led him to the elevator and up to my floor after he nodded. I've given it a lot of thought over the last few hours. At first, when we went to my room, I forgot to turn on the main light and turn the TV to the radio station. Then I called room service and asked them to bring me a big pot of coffee. When I got off the phone, I took my shoes off. I got into bed and curled my legs under me. Robert was in his easy chair in front of the TV, looking at me. We talked a lot. When the waiter came, I asked him to get the coffee. As we drank it, I saw him give me a smile. I asked what's going on. He asked how often I put on clothes. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't help but laugh and say, "I don't. It's a party," he said, with a nod and a yes, "but you're a little too good at it." All the girls at the party were talking about it, so I started to worry. I felt like I was shaking. I was such an idiot. He smiled once more. He gave a shrug. "It's no big deal. I mean, I like it. You don't look too bad." Now I was happy. We kept sipping our coffee, talking in general. He was a good person. When I look back, I can see that every time. Even though I didn't realize it at the time, I was acting like a girl shortly after. Robert got up and told me that he should go back to London. When I asked him if he was sober yet, he said that he probably wasn't. I told him to reserve a room. He said he was broke, though, so I told him he could stay in my room. We made our standard joke about a line of pillows down the middle of the bed. As I stood up to make the bed, Robert did the same. I still remember his exact words, I've thought about it so many times. To be with Britney is every guy's dream, don't you think? I just kept looking at him. My stomach was doing flips. He came up to me and wrapped his arms around me. Thanks for watching. The rest won't be viewable on YouTube, so check out Patreon if you want more.